Hello guys, welcome back to Ride on Academia. We are still on our series on the inventory valuation method. In our previous videos, we have looked at the first in, first out method. We have also looked at the last in, first out method. And in this particular video, we are going to be looking at the weighted average method. Okay, we are going to be using the weighted average method. Now, what do we mean by the weighted average method? As you can see, the balance is having a price. All right, the weighted average method is that method where we calculate, we calculate the price of stock. We calculate the price of the stock or inventory every time there is a new receipt. Okay, whenever goods are received in the business, we try to take the average. The average means we get the sum total of the quantity, like at the balance, right, where we total the quantity and then we total the value. We use that we use that total value. Right now we divide over the quantity to get the price. Okay, that's the average price per unit of goods available. All right, so we use that method instead of the first in, first out, where we charge at different prices. We want to maintain a similar price until another receipt or there's another purchase. All right, so the idea here is that every time that the goods are received, we try to take the average. Okay, comparing the goods that were bought with the one that was in the store, okay, before those other goods were bought. We try to take the average so we can have an average price per unit at which goods will be issued out. All right, that price we have calculated, that average price, is the price at which the goods will be issued out until there is another receipt. All right, now we're going to be using the same illustration, but in this case we'll be applying this method. All right, now we have that God's Favor Enterprise deal with purchase and sale of merchandise varieties of fish nets. The enterprise had 80 bundles of nets at the beginning of the year, January 2021. All right, and we see that's our opening stock. Okay, so we take note of the opening stock. All right, that's our opening stock, 80 units, and the amount is 288,000 naira. All right, now if you've not followed us, if you've not watched our previous video on this series, it's important that you do so, right, so that you can catch up with us where we are currently. All right, now, so this is for our opening stock. Now, like I said, the balance now has a price column. It has a price column. All right, so we have to calculate what is the price. All right, we check for the price, we divide value by quantity. So in dividing this, we'll be arriving at 3,600 naira. That is the price per unit of the balance. All right, now, like I said, for every time there is a new receipt, we have to take an average. Okay, now, on 5th of January 2021, we purchased 200 bundle of net at 2,000 naira each. So on 5th of January, that's a receipt, right? On the 5th, we purchased 200 bundles of net and the price per unit is 2,000 naira for each. Now, the value, like we said, is what? Quantity times price to give us the value. When we multiply, what do we have? 400,000 naira. How do we balance? For receipts, we are adding, right? So this is our previous balance, our previous quantity balance. We are going to be adding it to the goods that were bought to give us 280 units, and then we'll be adding the value to this to give us 688,000 naira. All right, now, like I said, whenever there is a receipt, okay, whenever there is a receipt, we do an averaging. The averaging will just be after we have added this previous value with the value of the goods that was purchased, right, and then the previous quantity with the quantity that was purchased. We divide them to have an average price. All right, so we divide to have an average price. That will be giving us 2,457. That is approximately, right. So this is going to be our price, 2,457 naira. All right, now it means if there is any issue, at this point, we'll keep issuing at this price until there is another receipt. All right, we only revalue price when there is a receipt, not when there is an issue. All right, we use this price to keep issuing until we have another price. All right, now for the next, we have 25th of January. The same year, we purchased 300 bundles of net at 2,200 naira each. Another receipt, right? 25th of January. So how do we get the value of our receipt? We multiply, right? When we do this, we should be having 160,000 naira. Since this is still a receipt, it means price will still be what? Price will still have to be valued, okay, using the average method. So we are going to be doing that quickly. For the balance, a receipt like we do, we add, right, 580, and then the previous value plus the current value of goods that were purchased, okay. And that will be giving us 1,348,000. Like I said, so at this point we will still have to take an average, okay. That's why it is called weighted average. So every time that there is a receipt, we have to take an average. So we have to take this average to know the net or the new price per unit, giving us 2,324 naira approximately, right? So it means at this point, if we have any issue to make, we'll be using this price, all right, until there's another receipt, then we'll revalue. Okay, now the next thing we have is 10th of March, the next transaction following the date. Okay, we're still using the order for date. On the 10th of March 2021, we sold 160 bundles of net. Okay, so on the 10th of March, now we sold 160, but like I said, it's no longer the first in first out where we need to check, or the last in first out where we need to check for the prices. All right, we now make use of this price that was calculated. All right, now we sold 160 bundles. Now we'll be using this average price that was calculated to issue out 2,324 naira, and that will be giving us a value of 371,840 naira. All right, so this is our issue. Now, like we do for issue, we are going to subtract, right? Let's not forget our arrows. We are going to subtract because goods are going out, right? So for subtracting, minus 160, we'll be having 420. The price still remains same. Like I said, we only take average of price when there is a receipt. All right, so once until there is a receipt before we can take average or calculate the average for the price. All right, now so the value are going to be subtracting, that will be giving us 976,160 naira. All right, then let's look at the next transaction. We still an issue. On the 15th of April 2021, we sold 180 bundle of nets, okay, at 3,700 naira. It, like I said, our focus basically is trying to calculate the value of closing stock, okay. And the value of closing stock does not work with sales, it works with purchases. So we're using goods purchase, we're using the price, the purchase price. All right, so let's just focus on sold 180 bundles of net, okay. So it's still an issue. The date is 15th of April. 180 bundles of net. So we are still making use of the same price until there's another receipt. All right, so which is 2,324 naira. So we'll multiply this. That will be giving us 418,320. All right, now after the issue, we need to balance, right? Goods are going out, so we are subtracting. 420 minus 180 will be having 240. Okay, and then for the value, like I said, until there is a receipt, we don't take a new average, we still maintain the old average until there is a receipt. So for the balance, we are subtracting this 976,160 minus 418,320, be giving us 557,840 naira. Okay, Now that's it for, let's look at the next transaction. We have on the 20th of May, which is the last, we purchased 140 net, all right, at 2,400 naira each. So this is a receipt. That means we have to revalue price, all right. So we purchased 140 net on 20th of May at 2,400 naira each. Right, so our value we are multiplying, so that will be giving us 336,000 naira. So at the end of the day we need to balance, right? Since it is a receipt, we are going to add, all right, 240 plus 140, we are having 380 unit, all right, and then we'll be adding 557,840 naira to 336,000 naira. That will be giving us a value of 893,840 naira. This is our value, right? Now, like I said, whenever there is a receipt, it means we need to adjust price, all right? So we need to adjust price here because it is a receipt, okay? How do we adjust price? You now divide your value by quantity, all right? You divide value by quantity to give us an approximate value of 2,352 naira, all right? So this is going to be serving as our closing, the value of our closing inventory, right? Which is 380 units. Now, like I said, if you want to still check or you want to still be sure that you have a balanced work, you can still sum total your quantity to check for quantity, sum total your quantity and your issuing quantity, and then you must recognize your opening stock, all right? Then the same thing goes for value, sum total your value for the receipt, subtract the value for the issues, and then you add your opening stock value, all right? So let's do that quickly and let's see. This we are having 640. This is for quantity. For the issues, the quantity we have is 340 units, all right? So when we subtract 640 minus 340 units, we'll be having 300 units. Then we add our opening stock value, we are having 380. So that's correct. Now we want to see the value, right? The value, okay, of the receipt. So let's add for each receipt and then compare with the value of the issues, okay? That will be giving us 1,396,000 naira. All right. Now let's check the value for the issues, okay, so that we can subtract and see. This is giving us a value of 790,160 naira. All right. So let's see if what we did is correct under the weighted average, right? Then we'll subtract 1,396,000 minus 790,160 naira. Okay, so when we subtract, we'll be having 605,840. Now we need to add to our opening stock value, right? And then when we add that, we'll be having 893,840 naira, all right? So this is how we get the value. Now, if you compare the value we got when we were using FIFO, the value of the closing, it was the same unit, but the value was different, okay? So depending on which method you are using, all right, your value can be lesser, can be moderate, or it can be higher. Are we there now? So with this, we've come to the end of our series on the inventory valuation method. Don't forget to like this video, like all our videos, okay? Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Share our video with as many as you know will be interested in learning mathematics and accounting. We'll see you in our next class. Thank you.